Coming up in this video, I sat in a seat that was terrible. Well, terrible for the reasons that I think it was terrible, but in the end, I was rewarded with a remarkable view. I mean, look at that. Look how close we are. It all starts right now at the Palm Beach International Airport. Well, hello from the Palm Beach Airport. It is unbelievably quiet here today. There's nobody around at all, and that applies to the flights too. My flight is one of 3 flights leaving on Delta Airlines this evening that have over 100 seats open. It is an unbelievably quiet travel day here today. And unbelievably quiet means something unbelievably rare is going to happen to me. Can you guess what it is? Well, think about this. I'm a platinum medallion on Delta, and there were lots and lots of empty seats in all classes of service aboard my Boeing 737-800. Basically, if you want a particular seat, you got it. Now, I have some really unique criteria for seat selection, with particular focus on selecting the appropriate side of the plane with a well-aligned window. Comfort really doesn't play any role in the seat selection process for me, but since there's hardly anyone on this flight today, things are a little different. All right, like always, I've arrived really early for my flight, and today I've actually been upgraded to first class. Now, let me just say this right away. This is not a video about the first class experience. It doesn't really matter to me that I'm in first class. I just got the upgrade because there's such a light load on the aircraft, so I take it. That's just what I'm doing today. But I'm more concerned about the side of the aircraft that I'm seated on today. I am seated on the right-hand side of the aircraft because LaGuardia is currently landing on runway 22 with right traffic. So you know what that means. There's a good chance that we may fly up the Hudson for some really good Manhattan views, so I'm going to take it. The New York winds are favorable for a runway 22 approach with right traffic, since runway 13 is the departure runway at LaGuardia, and departures off of runway 13 will climb to the east of the airport. All right, there's a little bit of activity here at the end of the concourse because a few airplanes have landed, but otherwise I'm just walking around looking for something to do. Here's something to look at. Gotta love this newly painted JetBlue plane in Super Mario colors, and a very familiar sight to me is this aircraft, bound for Charleston. Behind me is a Breeze A220-300. Make sure you check out all of my other videos where I fly on Breeze. If you watch my channel a lot, you know I fly Breeze very often between Vero Beach and Westchester. I often need to fly between those two city pairs. Today, I am flying Delta to LaGuardia for a couple of reasons. Number one, I just love LaGuardia and I love those views, and today they're flying northbound on the Hudson, so I'm seated on the right-hand side of the aircraft, so I'm expecting some great views. Let's just hope that they keep it up. And I also need to get more miles to get to million miler status, when I will then have gold status for life, and I won't have to worry about flying Delta as often as I do now, although I think I'm going to just for those LaGuardia views. I just love flying out of LaGuardia Airport. Do you? Let me know in the comments section below. Regarding today's route of flight, I'm expecting a land route today, so we should take off toward the ocean, then make a left-hand turn back over the land, and fly inland a little bit northbound. Now, it's a little bit cloudy out there. Hopefully I get some nice views of the coastline, we'll see. But what's most important to me is just keeping up that right traffic to runway 22. Today, the approach controller is vectoring aircraft up the Hudson River. Just please, New York Approach, keep it up. Here's a view of the active runway today. My Boeing 737-800 is next for landing, so I'm keeping an eye out. I'm all eyes out the large window looking for it. It's coming in from JFK, also with a light load. Okay, it's right there. I gotta grab the camera to film it. Today's tail number is November 375 Delta Alpha, and she's 26 years old. This flight is early and will have an extended dwell time on the ground today. It's more than enough time to disembark the few passengers to LaGuardia. It's time to head over to the gate area, but before I do so, I'd like to give a shout out to some of my Patreon members. Special thanks to Simon Weber, Luca Presti, Sean Conlon, Dan Norquist, and George. Your contributions help make this channel possible. Remember that you can support this channel by visiting patreon.com/Peter Masella. I'm at the gate and there's hardly anybody here. Should be a nice flight tonight. Look at this. There are 109 available seats. I got my upgrade to first class a few days in advance, and 4 of the 5 people on the upgrade list to first are going to make it today. It's boarding time. Let's head on over to LGA. All right, guys, I've made it aboard this Delta 737-800, and I'm seated in the first class cabin, and gotta say, I'm just not happy. Out of all the windows on the aircraft, this window's got a lot of markings on the outside. I'd rather be seated back there. I'll be honest with you, the reason why I'm here is because I do have a travel companion with me who's sitting in the other seat, so I'm trying to impress that travel companion a little bit, but this is not going to make for an enjoyable flight at all. I'm very disappointed. So there is another window on this side, so hopefully the person who sits there doesn't recline their seat all the way. This window is looking pretty good. Look at the poor condition of my closest window. I've got this entire window here, and I can only really see clearly through this portion over here. This aircraft is 25 years old, and it has had some refurbishment on the inside, but I'm not happy with this at all. All right, the door's been closed on the 737, and we're getting ready to push back in a moment. They're actually, despite the very light load today, not offering pre-departure beverage service prior to takeoff because they want to get out really quick. Just fine with me. I'm just here for this, and it's not going to work out very well today.
Hey, ground Delta 856. Just a heads up, we're pushing off Charlie 3.
Charlie 56, ground roger, push your discretion, advisory taxi, pop turn.
Will do.
Let me tell you, this pushback happened so quickly. We were scheduled to leave the gate at 7:30 p.m., and I filmed this at 7:11 p.m. That never happens. Now, being in first class, as I boarded, the flight attendant took my order for a pre-departure beverage, but the pilot told the flight attendant not to distribute the drinks until after takeoff so we can get out quickly. I don't care. I'm not here for a drink. I'm here to see what's going on outside, and all of a sudden we came to an abrupt stop. That was followed by the driver of the tug leaving his vehicle to take a look at the airplane. That didn't look good. I have no idea what happened, but within seconds we were moving backwards again. Yes, that small pause was cause for some concern because that never happens, and I'm happy that we're moving along normally now. We're going to get to LaGuardia really early tonight. This will make most passengers happy. Yeah, I'm happy about it too, but I'd rather be on a delayed flight with a crystal clear window than on a flight that will arrive early with a dirty window. It was a real struggle to hold the camera between the marks on the window. The forward window had too much reflection on it at this point to film out of. We're now nearing the end of the phase where the tug will be removed. It's time for engine start, and then we'll call ground control for taxi clearance. That should happen in a minute. All right, I'm just waiting for them to lower the cabin lights, and hopefully when I film out this window here, the reflection from the light will not appear on these marks on the window. Okay, they're off. A little better.
Ground Delta 856, ready taxi.
Delta 856, Palm Beach ground, runway 10 left, taxi via Charlie, cross runway 14.
10 left via Charlie, cross runway 14, Delta 856.
We are cleared to taxi all the way to the runway, and along the way we can cross the crosswind runway. It's going to be a very quick taxi to the runway. There's no traffic in front of us, and once we get to the runway, I have no doubt that we'll get takeoff clearance right away. In a moment, I'm going to come back to the camera view with me in it as I show you what the pilots do when crossing a runway. They look out both sides just to make sure there's no traffic on the runway. But take note of the blue light illuminating the first class cabin. I didn't notice it at first, but it became a hindrance to filming out the window for most of the flight. Okay, we're clear to cross the crosswind runway. I don't see any traffic over here, and there's no traffic on that side. Let's cross. Okay, we're safely crossing the runway, and I'm filming this by leaning forward to the forward window while trying to keep my seatbelt low and tight across my waist for safety as instructed by the safety video. This means I had to extend my arm to film out the forward window quite a bit, and it wasn't fun. There was definitely less blood flowing to my arm, but I do it all for this channel. I love having you join me on all of my flights, and I hope you enjoy coming with me. If you like it, consider hitting the subscribe button below so you don't miss out on my next video. I filmed this clip for 10 minutes straight. It was so painful, and I don't want to think about it, so I'm going to fast forward to the point when we switch to the tower frequency.
Good day, 56 Palm Beach County, traffic 206 miles final, runway 10 left, line up away.
Liable 80 left, Delta 856.
Now we can enter the runway, and the tower has informed us that there is a plane 6 miles out that needs to land after we take off. The plane that's coming in to land on our runway is now going to check in with the tower. The tower will inform the pilot that we are holding in position.
Tower, approach 1.
And 1944 Palm Beach, runway 10 left, continue, traffic holding in position.
Continue approach 90 at 1944.
As we turn the corner to line up with the runway and hold in position, we can see that flight, a United flight in the distance 6 miles out. We definitely need to get takeoff clearance before that plane gets too close, otherwise he'll have to be sent around. This is the primary runway at PBI, and it's being used for both arrivals and departures today. We will wait until the moment is right for takeoff clearance from the tower. Let's move to that point a few seconds later.
Delta 856, runway 10 left, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 10 left, Delta 856.
Now that we're cleared for takeoff, United behind us is clear to land.
United 1944, runway 10 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, United 1944, 10 left.
All right, we're rolling down the runway, and I'm continuing to film this from the forward window rather than the window that's closest to me. I've been holding my camera since we started to taxi, and my hand is getting exhausted. It's obviously easier to use my right arm since I'm on the right side of the plane, but on occasion I tried my left arm to keep the blood flowing to my right arm. I'm not enjoying this. I purposely chose row 3 since according to aerolopa.com, one of the windows is perfectly aligned with my seat. I'm just exhausted. Why me as one of the few passengers in this cabin who really cares? The lady in front of me had her window shade open, but she was watching TV. The lady behind me had her window shade closed. This is so frustrating, but we're airborne now, and it's time for the tower to hand us off to Palm Beach Departure Control.
Delta 856, contact departure, great day.
Departure, good day, use Delta 856.
Did he say Delta Welta? Well, to tell you the truth, he probably has a clear window. I'm sure cockpit windows are maintained more regularly than the windows of passengers. Let's check in with Departure Control.
And Delta 856 at 1,500 for 12,000 via the slides.
Delta 856, Palm Beach departure, radar contact.
Oh, he said we're on the slides. That's a change. Earlier in this video, I mentioned that we would be taking a land route. That's the flight plan that showed when I was at the gate, but it has changed. Instead of making a left U-turn over the ocean and turning back in over the land before heading north, we're now going to fly a water route. This means we'll fly straight out for a few miles, and once we reach a fix called Carmen, we will turn left to the northeast, practically straight toward New York City. This means that we'll land at LaGuardia even earlier than expected since we don't need to head inland. Again, that's nice, but I'd rather be 6 hours late than get in early with this scratched window. Check out my older videos where I was indeed 6 hours late, but I was happier since I can actually see out of a clean window that was well aligned with my seat. I'm still leaning forward to film here. Now, unfortunately, much of this climb was mostly in cloudy conditions. I'd typically be looking out for the northern Bahamas Islands as we head northeast, but they aren't visible this time around. As we climb higher, we were asked to contact Miami Center to continue the climb.
Delta 856, contact Miami Center, 132.15.
3215, have a good one, Delta 856.
Good day.
I'll resume ATC once we get closer to New York. For now, here's the rest of my painful street footage from taxi to the initial climb. This is what I have to deal with. So much for a first class seat. Unfortunately, having a lot of trouble seeing out, and I've been using this window over here. It's been quite uncomfortable because I have to lean forward in order to hold the camera to see out the window. Also, for some reason, there are these bright blue lights on in the first class cabin. It's dark in the main cabin. I feel like the main cabin experience would have been a lot better this evening. And here you can see how close the Bahamas are. You see that reflection over there of the TV? There's a Southwest 737 over there, and I can't see it because the person in front of me is watching TV. Here's our new route. It's nearly a straight path up to LaGuardia this evening. As I struggle, flight attendants are coming by to distract me with dinner service. I'll have the beef. The tablecloth for my first class meal has been set, but I don't know why, I'm just not into this. I'm just feeling exhausted right now. Fortunately, we were over the water for much of the meal service, so there wasn't much to see below. Here's my meal, and here's my companion's meal. How am I supposed to look out the window and eat at the same time? I'll try. I mean, there's a Spirit A321 flying from Richmond to Fort Lauderdale out there. Although it's hard to see because I can't lean forward to see out the forward window because of the tray table on which my food is resting. Well, it's been an interesting flight so far. Really can't see that much, and we're coming up on the land portion of the flight, and I think there's clouds out there. I cannot see the land. This is a very strange flight, and something really out of the ordinary and quite frankly abnormal is going to happen. We'll be landing about 30 minutes early this evening. Something is not right about that. We're flying to LaGuardia and we're landing 30 minutes early. There's some really fantastic news up ahead. LaGuardia is still landing on runway 22 with right traffic, and planes are going up the Hudson. This should hold up by the time we get there. In the meantime, here's a distorted view of part of Wilmington. I should not have to look at Wilmington through that color blue. Through the front window, I saw part of Jacksonville, North Carolina. And down there is Kingston, North Carolina. The bright lights of Greenville down below made it easier to focus on. Way in the distance is Newport News and Norfolk. And now it's time to report some more bad news. The person in front of me reclined their seat. I have never, ever reclined my seat out of respect for the person behind me, and I never will, unless it's an overnight night flight. In any case, we're getting close to the New York City area. We've descended considerably, and the bright cabin lights are now on for flight attendant safety checks. LaGuardia Air Force Base down there, but can't see it. Okay, good news. The blue lights are officially off. Unfortunately, I'm still not able to use this window, but I'm going to try to film out of that window. We will be flying up the Hudson tonight.
And Delta 856 is out of 16,000, descending via the Proud, assigned 270 on the seas.
Delta 856, New York approach, maintain 300 knots.
Maintain 300 knots for Delta 856, and we have golf.
Thank you.
We're on the Proud arrival, which is for flights from the south like us. The idea is to fly toward the Verrazano Bridge and then follow the Hudson River north so Manhattan will appear on the right side of the plane. Now, I wanted to film the entire arrival for you from here on down, including air traffic control, but there was no way I could extend my arm to the forward window for that long. For the descent over New Jersey here, I'll play for you all of the commands that were received, and once we get to the New York City boroughs area, I'll show everything in real time with air traffic control. Here's a command for us.
Delta 856, reduce speed to 250.
250 speed, Delta 856.
Later on, we were cleared down to 8,000 feet.
Delta 856, descend maintain 8,000.
Down to 8,000 for Delta 856.
Later on, we were told to slow down.
Delta 856, reduce speed to 210.
Delta 210, Delta 856.
And now it's time for the greatest command an air traffic controller can issue.
Delta 856, descend maintain 4,000. When able, proceed direct to Verrazano Bridge, follow the Hudson North.
Down to 4,000, when able, direct to Verrazano Bridge and up to Hudson North for Delta 856.
That was music to my ears. Manhattan will be on this side of the plane as we fly up the Hudson River at 4,000 feet. Could it get any better? Actually, it could, and there's going to be a very welcome surprise in a few moments. Right now we're looking at northern Monmouth County in New Jersey on the right, and the water to the left is Raritan Bay and lower New York Bay. That's the Atlantic Ocean in the distance. I'm going to move forward to a point where we're approaching the Verrazano Bridge at 4,000 feet. Okay, we're there now, and we can see Coney Island out the window. Beyond it are the Rockaways and Jamaica Bay. I've been saving my strength for this part, so I'm now going to film the rest of this flight without stopping as I painfully lean forward, extending my arm to the forward window so I can actually see out. Alright, here's my uninterrupted footage until landing. I've aligned all of the ATC transmissions with this footage and have lowered the volume for transmissions that are not for us. When the controller talks to us and our pilot responds, it'll be at full volume. I will never mount my camera so I can pan, and I'm panning the camera down so we can see the Verrazano Bridge. We're clearly not crossing it in the middle of the span since we can see it, but we will be following the Hudson after it. Well, not exactly. I'm going to prep you for something amazing that will be happening soon. As soon as we get to Governor's Island, which is just a few miles ahead of us, we'll still be following the Hudson River northbound, but the controller will issue a heading for us to fly, which means that we'll no longer follow the Hudson and will comply with the controller's instructions. This is likely due to the fact that traffic is light and the controller will try to get us in just a little bit quicker. Just west of Governor's Island, we'll be told to fly heading 040, which is arrived at by making a slight right-hand turn. That right-hand turn will no longer keep us over the Hudson, but will point our nose so that we'll fly over Manhattan. Specifically, the 40-degree heading lines up with 8th Avenue. Now, that may come as a disappointment since we'll miss everything west of 8th Avenue and we can't see straight down from 4,000 feet, but in a clearance that I've never experienced, we'll be cleared down to 3,000 feet, a move that usually occurs further along this route. This means that the tallest Manhattan skyscrapers will be right outside our window. My emotions are going to rapidly change in a moment. I was really let down by my first-class window for most of the flight, but what's coming up goes to show that no matter what your class of service is, if you have a window seat on the right side of the plane, you're going to get a first-class view that's worth $1 million. Are you ready for this?
Delta 856 fighting 040, set to maintain 3,000. 040 on the heading down to 3,000 for Delta 8. United 2168 fighting 080, set to maintain 2,000. 080 down to 2,000, United 2168. United 472, see the Verrazano Bridge on the Hudson, set to maintain 3,000. Proceed to the bridge, follow the Hudson, set to maintain 3,000, United 472.
My tears of disappointment for most of this flight have turned into tears of joy. That was perfect and worth the hardships for most of the flight. In the distance is our destination airport, LaGuardia. We need to swing around to runway 22 via a right-hand U-turn, but first the controller is going to slow us down and point out the traffic that we're following.
Delta 856, speed 180, you'll be following the 73 at 12 o'clock 4 on base at 2. Alright, 180 on the speed, and we're looking for Delta 856.
It's rare to get a traffic alert for the traffic that we'll be following at this point, but everything's coming up roses now. The fact that we passed by Midtown at 3,000 feet is a sure sign that we won't be going far out before turning back around to land on runway 22. I forgot about everything that happened before, and I'm now happy about the early arrival. We're looking at the Bronx here, and we're flying directly over University Avenue, which is about 8 or so blocks east of the Harlem River. All we need to do now is await clearance from the controller to turn right. If you look at the Whitestone Bridge, the closer bridge, you can see a plane on a 2-mile final for runway 22. We'll be there soon, but that's not the plane we're supposed to be on the lookout for. I'm all eyes looking out for that aircraft because I'm on the right side of the airplane and I can see everything from here. If our pilot sees that plane, we can follow it to the runway. On the left side of the screen, you can start to see another plane coming into runway 22. That too is actually not the traffic we're supposed to follow. There's one more plane between us and him. We're about to get our base leg turn to the right now. As the pilot reads back instructions, he'll say that he does not have the 737 we're supposed to follow in sight, but as he's talking, you and I will be able to see it, even though he doesn't.
Delta 856 fighting 080, center maintain 2000, you get 73 in.
And heading of 080, we're looking for the traffic for Delta 856.
I absolutely cannot believe that despite everything I've been through on this flight, we can see the traffic that we're supposed to follow and the pilot can't. As a matter of fact, our pilot will never report the traffic in sight. Not only did I just see it, I'll be able to see it again once the wings level off again. In any case, our pilot will report the field in sight and we'll get cleared for a visual approach to runway 22. This way we can just line up at the runway and land. This is a very close-in right base leg, barely touching the southern reaches of Westchester County. It's one of the closer turns I've made to runway 22. For some reason, 20 years ago, planes would turn over the middle of the Bronx if traffic allowed, but that never happens anymore. This is around the tightest right turn you'll get nowadays, and there's traffic in front of us. As we look down at Co-op City down there, we're now going to get cleared for the visual approach to runway 22 and get handed off to the control tower at the airport.
Delta 856 fighting 150, you got the airport?
150, and we do have the field for Delta 856.
Delta 856, Rivers approach 22, contact tower today.
Clear the visual 22 over the tower, how we're going Delta 856.
Okay, it's now time to change radio frequencies to 118.7 and get clearance to land. Let's do it.
Delta 856 is on the visual for runway 22.
Delta 856, Woody Tower, wind 2309, runway 22, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 22, Delta 856.
We are cleared to land on runway 22. What a nice turn this is. Once we're lined up with the runway, we'll make a final turn and land. What a feeling. Yes, my arm is killing me right now because I've been leaning forward since Coney Island, but I'm so elated that we flew a perfect approach today. I'm just going to take my mind off of the lack of blood flow to my arm and simply enjoy the view of the Bronx as we descend down to runway 22. By the way, once we land, you're going to hear the controller to tell us to get off the runway right away because the next plane behind us is just 1 mile out. Let's land after a very emotional flight.
Line 2031 on the visual 22 on our right base.
Southwest 2231, the Woody Tower, continue on the 2 field.
Continue Southwest 2231.
American 1209, turn left Charlie, Bravo, ground 17.
Left Charlie, left Bravo, ground 17.
And Air 4965, Woody Tower, traffic lands on runway 22, runway 12, line up away. straight to me.
Weather continuing there, 49,
South 2231, traffic will depart 13 Friday arrival, 12309, or 122
Go at 22 Southwest 2231.
Airport 965, 12310, runway 13, clear takeoff. Just 856, the next arrival for runway 22 is about a mile out behind you. I appreciate no delay exiting. Turn left on the Yankee, then turn left on the Bravo, ground point 7.
Yankee Bravo, no delay, ground point 7, Delta 856.
Welcome to New York City, where the local time is 9:46 p.m. Please stay seated with your seatbelt fastened and carry out stowed until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Be careful not putting overhead bins to avoid injury from items that may have shifted during flight, and please ensure you have all of your personal belongings before deplaning. After we reach our gate, we invite you to use the Fly Delta app for important baggage and connection information. For customers requesting a wheelchair on arrival, we will advise you upon reaching the gate when assistance is available to disembark the aircraft. You may receive an email asking you to share your feedback. We value and use your responses to improve your future travel experiences. On behalf of this New York City-based crew, thank you for helping us celebrate 100 years of flight, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Now, check out this plane in one of the American hangars. A few days before I filmed this, two Delta CRJ-900s collided at low speed on a taxiway. I was thinking this might be one of them. Yes, I was on the lookout for this, and this is exactly where I thought I'd find it. I'm still filming through the forward window. It was worth it in the end. It really, really was. All right, everybody, I've got to say that my hand is so tired right now. It was not easy holding the camera forward like that to the secondary window. I really wish that the window that I was assigned was nice and clear, but I had to do it. Just a very interesting night. I was not happy for most of the flight, but that approach over Manhattan was just absolutely spectacular. Good job by New York Approach Control today. All right, everybody, we arrived super early to LaGuardia Airport. I am done holding this phone. My hand hurts a lot. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel and you liked what you saw, I invite you to click on the subscribe button below, because I'll be back again with another video just like this real soon. Thanks, everyone. With all the traveling I do, I find myself just sitting for hours on an airplane, and I need a way to make up for that, so I use my Yesol G1M Plus for a regular cardio workout. A breeze to put together, and at a great price point, this is the best stationary bike I've ever had. With so much time spent sitting, this is a great fit for my lifestyle, and using it doesn't take me away from what I need to do. It's all about fun cardio, as this bike features wired multimedia casting, making a typical cardio workout transformed into something enjoyable. I mean, who doesn't enjoy watching Peter Masella's YouTube channel while working out? I know I certainly watch my channel all the time, even when I'm not working out, because the screen rotates 360 degrees, so I can watch the screen when not sitting on the bike. I love having an additional screen in my home in a place where I normally would not have one. What a great feature! Working out and enjoyment go hand in hand with Yesol. As a traveler, I love this feature, which allows me to feel like I'm biking abroad. And when I want to take things very seriously, I just tune into instructor-led courses. I always leave it to the pros to tell me what to do. I'm an expert as an airline passenger, but I'm not an expert trainer. And statistics are always available to me. These are some fantastic metrics that provide me with the right information at the right time. And I'm not the only one who uses YesSol.
Hey, this is Peter Sr. here. I'm using YesSol on a regular basis, and let me tell you, it's working wonders for me as well.
That's right, my dad loves using this product. After all, he also sits on airplanes a lot and needs the cardio workout. I've caught him using my YesSol bike on multiple occasions. He's especially fond of the 4-speaker system and 2 subwoofers for exceptional sound quality. As a viewer of this channel, you can take advantage of my discount code in the description below. It's exceptionally affordable. Imagine watching Netflix or the news or airplane videos while biking or at any angle. What a deal this is. That's right, you heard it. You can get a great discount with my code. You just gotta do it.